Hello, welcome back to round 2 of the Touring Cars Cup for the 2025 World Series, the GT Driver Career as it's titled. And we are at the Nürburgring sprint layout and have a look at the qualifying results. Shelty in that Mazda 3 takes pole position, 32.6. Richie on the front row, 32.8 in that Scirocco. Then second row, Blasi and E Racing. Blasi with a 32.9, E Racing with a 33.0. Then row number 3, it's Jaeger and Stu. Row 4 goes to Taz and Evok. And then we have row number 5 with Dashi and Rick. Rick, unfortunately, with a disconnect during the qualifying. Alright, so today, round number 2, it's mixed conditions. That is at least what we should have on the schedule. So it's a bit damp to start that race with. It should rain, it should dry, it should rain again. So we'll see how that actually went. Right, without any further ado, I'll start the replay. We go through round number 2, 40 minutes. Nürburgring sprint. Here we go. It's green. And Richie with a good start, but also Shelty in his Mazda. Inside dive, Blasi versus Richie, they go side by side. Looks like Shelty stays in the lead side by side between Richie and Blasi once again. It's still possible to go around the outside into the AMG arena. Richie keeps that position. So P2 for Richie, 3 for Blasi, 4 B Racing, P5 Jaeger, and that looked like an early cut. 1 second. Boom, too much. Stu in P6 in his Audi. Taz versus Evok. P7, P8. Rick in P9 and Dashi in P10. Another Suzuki Swift. So Shelty, Richie, Blasi, and B Racing the top 4. And then Jaeger serves the penalty and drops a couple of positions. That 1 second, really painful. So all the way down to P9 it is, by the looks. Yeah. So the 2 Suzuki Swifts now at the back of that grid. And we see a move around the outside at the final turn. Not yet. Well, Rick keeps that position for now. Stays close to Taz and Evok. A little gap to Stu though, but half a second penalty will bring that gap close, and Stu goes deep. Wants to close up with the front runners, so the top 4. B Racing in that Scirocco. Richie, Blasi side by side. They go VW versus Audi. Again, Richie has the inside line. Can Blasi this time go for the move on the inside? There was contact between the 2 for a brief moment. That's why it's not a penalty. They go into the hairpin for the sprint layout. And B Racing sees a gap. Can he capitalize? Yes, he can. So up to P3 for now. Richie down to P4. Stu P5. That penalty, that's gonna hurt. Oh, you're so close. Oh, a little tap on the rear. Nothing major though. He gets off the racing line. Serves the penalty now. Here comes Evok and Taz. So not too far behind, but Stu keeps that position by the looks. Yeah. Richie in 4th, right behind B Racing still. Blasi and Shelty with a little gap at this stage. So the track now nearly dry. It's flat out racing. Evoque made a move up to P5 for a brief moment, got past Stu at a moment through that chicane, and Taz right behind in that Renault Mégane. But here comes Stu again, has the inside line for turn number 1. Will we see a cutback? No, not yet. So Stu in 6, Taz in P7, Rick staying in P8 in his Audi, and Jaeger in P9, unable to make a move yet. Has to be patient and also avoid any more penalties. Dashi with the wheel today, trying to find the pace. And this little group, it's close from P5 to P9, not a huge gap. Then we have that bigger gap to the top runners. B Racing in 4th now, Richie 3rd, Blasi 2nd, and Shelty leading that pack, 33.4. That first timed lap will go down pretty sure for those drivers. It's a 33.2 currently for Blasi. Richie providing some tow for B Racing, the two Sciroccos in P3, P4. And Stu with a little gap to the other cars side by side. They go into turn number 1. It's Evoque and Taz. Taz makes that move stick for now. Evoque down to P7. Rick still keeping that position. But this is the opportunity for Jaeger maybe as the inside line for the arena. Will he dive it? Sends it and makes that move stick by the looks. So it is P8 for now. Rick down to P9. Dashi trying to stay in striking distance. Now it's 2-3 seconds maybe at this stage, so not over yet. And the run maybe up towards the chicane. Doesn't look like the run, the speed is big enough, but definitely closed that gap. Also Rick still very, very close, trying to keep up with Jaeger and Evoque. He has the tow, but there's still like that train with a Stu, Taz, Evoque, Jaeger, and Rick. Rick now with a little bit of a gap. He caught back, so and that looked like the disconnect here. Rick disconnected from the lobby. So down to 9 drivers. Jaeger P8, Evoque in 7th, Taz with a penalty P6, Stu P5. Then the bigger gap to the top 4 runners. Still in that same order. B Racing in 4th, Richie in 3rd, Blasi 2nd, and Shelty in the best position at the moment. Gets a decent run up towards the chicane. Can he keep Blasi behind? It looks like. But also the guys behind are catching really in on the top 2. So will the speeder run down into turn number 1 for Blasi, fastest lap 33.0. And that Mazda 3 is still quick. Lift and coast for a short moment. completely dry track now at this stage. The top 4 with that gap now to the rest of the grid. Should probably see a close battle between those top 4 for the win. And then we have the second group of drivers. Stu with a little gap now, trying to get away from Tess, Jaeger and Evok. Oh, another penalty. I think that will lose Jaeger the position again to Evok through the penalty zone, and yeah, doesn't get the run, so it's Evok in his Mazda 3 upper position again. P7 with a nice run for Jaeger. That final chicane, he's close. Can he make a move into turn number 1? He's too far behind and doesn't have the straight line speed today. He's too far behind to go for the move, so Evo keeps that position. Taz and Stu. Oh, Stu 1.5 second. That's a tough one, so he will fall back into that group with Taz, Evok and Jaeger pretty soon. And what about the front runners? E-Racing Ricci with a 1 second penalty, but he closed that gap to Blasi, so he should still be at the tail end of that group when he serves that penalty now. And so far it's Shelty leading that race since the start and the qualifying. And here's Ricci down to P4. It still has the contact now. This is 1.5 second slowdown for Stu. So Taz with the run around the outside into P5. Easy overtake. And Jaeger bringing Evok along to that battle for P5. Dashi keeping it steady now, trying to stay in those 34s, I think. Maybe he can benefit. Some mistakes, 35 this time. Evok with a 35 as well. 34-1 for Jaeger last time round, and that 37, yeah, lost 3 seconds nearly. Exactly. Taz goes a bit wide. Can he defend that position into the arena slow section? He can. Runs very wide on the exit, but that's okay. The game allows this line. No track limit so far. Stu goes deep. Jaeger also very deep. Maybe better exit? No. Not for now. Jump back to our leaders. So at the end of lap number 8, we still see Shelty in the lead. Blasi in P2, B Racing third. Oh, half a second penalty. We'll lose a little bit of the contact. To the top 2 will bring back Ricci into contention for that final podium spot. And Tess, Stu and Jaeger close with the run down the start and finish straight into turn number 1. Heavy braking into that slow turn. Tess goes a little bit deep. Opportunity for Stu. Maybe they can go side by side into the arena section. Tess keeps it for now. Stu didn't get that run to have a look down the inside, maybe coming out of the AMG arena. Tess kept that momentum up, so nowhere to go for Stu, but it's close. Also Jaeger and Evoque still there, trying to make something happen. And there's she a bit by himself currently. Oh, aggressive run over the final chicane. And as expected, so Shelty and Blasi now top two with a gap to B Racing and Ritchie, who are close together again. So those packs of cars, Shelty, Blasi, B Racing, Ritchie, and we have 4 cars really close. Oh, Evoque just lost a little bit off the toe. Oh, and Stu goes deep into turn number 1. He gets it stopped though and stays in P6 for now. Defends that position nicely. Let's have a look at the tire wear. So, Tess uses a bit more compared to Stu and Jaeger, and Stu with a little bit of a moment. Slight contact between the two drivers. I remember hearing understeer. So, oops. Yeah. A bit too late, but nothing happens. Good news for Tess. That's now it's a drag race between Suzuki and Audi towards the chicane. And nice. Late on the brakes for Stu. Good line. Defends the position for now. It's round number 2 at least. Final turn, so important to get the run. And Stu with not the best exit. This gives Jaeger and also Evoque the opportunity to go for a move into turn number 1. This time all good, a bit deep, but good defensive driving he applied, and Tess trying to break free. And at the front it's Ritchie right behind P Racing through the hairpin. And then we have roughly 2 seconds, maybe a bit more, to Blasi and Shelty, who are saving tires and fuel by the looks at this stage, so not that aggressive anymore. I just saw that something happened between Jaeger and Stu. Jaeger moves up a position, but a mighty run for Stu in the Audi TT. This time Jaeger with the inside line for the chicane, but that speed difference, the exit speed was just too much. And Stu again, but then cuts the chicane. That will be dirty tires, and pretty sure we see a penalty here. Half a second. No. And another side-by-side moment going down the main straight into the first turn. Room given this time, and can Jaeger keep that position for now? Yes, track position plus the penalty for Stu. So Stu will have to battle Evoque now, but Evoque cut pretty much on the inside. Let's see if this was okay. He got away with it. We saw that dust. When Stu serves the penalty, it will be Ewok to move up into P7, probably. Stu with a good run. Oh, it might be close. We could see a drag race between the two cars into the chicane. So here comes Ewok in the Mazda with the momentum, with the run. He couldn't get his nose just in front of Stu, but Jaeger with the gap now trying to catch Taz. And Richie and B Racing, they're starting to close that gap, but it looks a little bit to Blasi and Shelty as well. So we are now the halfway through this race, still the rain. And now decision time, what to do. Stay out, save fuel, save tires, or maybe pit. Go for the one stop and hope that there won't be any rain towards the end of the race. Good run for Blasi this time. Shelty staying out, Blasi staying out. Richie with a late decision into the pits. It is for Richie. B Racing now. No draft partner for that lap. And gaps between Taz, Jaeger and Stu. And Ewok now opened up a little bit. We see tire wear kicking in as well for Ewok on that front left. They're actually doing a good job with the tires. But I won 45 last time round, so head off track somewhere. Lost a little bit of time. So Richie now leaving the pits with fresh mediums. And a nice gap to the other cars. So that you see Ewok struggling with the tire wear. Stu on this Audi. Very nice. Same goes for Jaeger. Tires still looking very good. Oh, another penalty. A second. Again, cut too much in the AMG arena section. Good news once again for Taz, who has worse tires on those fronts in the Renault Mégane. What about our race leaders? Will they also pit? No, will they cover Richie's undercut approach? Shelty, yeah, heads into the pits. Blasi stays out, and B Racing also into the pits. So they're both on the same fuel. Whereas Blasi probably saved a bit more fuel in his Audi. Tess will move up into P2 for a brief moment. And Jaeger to third. And we also see that Stu and Ewok are pitting for fresh tires and some fuel. Richie versus Shelty. Well, Shelty on the pit exit, followed by B Racing. Where is Richie? Just got past B Racing, and I think that undercut worked. Is within 1.5 seconds, definitely, to Richie. Also B Racing just past the toe. Dashi still running on his used mediums. Stu with some fresh rubber, and Ewok as well. And then we're waiting for Blasi to pit. Tires still looking okay. But he has to come in now, I think, yeah. Otherwise, he would risk to lose more time with those slightly worn tires. .32 liters remaining in the tank. He saved a bit more. So maybe that's a little bit of an advantage as well with the pit stop. So Taz with a lead lap. Jaeger, after serving the penalty on lap 14, now trying to close the gap to Taz, Shelty, Ritchie, be racing. Where's Blasey on the pit exit? Oh, it will be close between all of the top runners. Blasey kept that position. I think that little bit of fuel saving helped Blasey to stay in the lead. Shelty in the virtual lead. We still have two drivers in the front. They haven't pitted. They are on a different strategy, or with plenty of hopium to maybe get some rain and do one pit stop less than the others. But this is now really close between Shelty, Ritchie and B Racing. I think that's less than a second between the three drivers at the moment. A little gap to Blasey now. Mediums, Jaeger okay, massively on Taz. Was decision for Taz. Stay out, pit. Let's do one more lap at least. Same for Jaeger. Oh, we don't want to see his penalties. It's our story of the race. Getting track limit penalties, shortcut penalties. And with roughly 15 minutes to go, now it's the spicy part of the race. And we see Ritchie with a run on Shelty into turn one. No, just showing his nose, saying next time I get you. Oh, he doesn't need the next time, or will he? Oh, Shelty went a little bit too deep, couldn't get back onto the power, had to delay the throttle, and and be with a touring car-esque side-by-side move, still trading a little bit of paint, the two TCR drivers. Shelty still has the inside. They go into the hairpin and a cutback. It's the old switcheroo, and did it work? It's still side by side between the two. Right-hander advantage for B Racing and that Scirocco. Now it gets that position for a moment, but that Mazda 3 is quick uphill to that chicane, the slow chicane. That Scirocco also not shabby at all. B Racing keeps that position. Taz into the pits now, so the only one that's, I think it's Jaeger and Dashi. Dashi also, the two Swifties, they're still running on the mediums. And Dashi doing also another lap, so Taz is in, whereas Stu and Ewok, he was fighting with both of them for position. Taz now on the way out. Where is Stu? Here comes Dashi. Taz keeps that track position, very important. Stu not too far behind. Ewok lost a little bit of time. So Jaeger in the lead now. Blasey hunting down the German driver. Ritchie trying to close the gap to Blasey as well, and then we saw those two TCR drivers, B Racing and Shelty, fighting, and they stopped fighting now, and they're going for fast laps purple for B Racing on lap 18. Will we see the first sub 33 in race pace. Great closing speed. Good, decent run. Yeah. It gets a bit more cloudy. It should help with the tires as well. And also be racing now with a bit of a tow and a 33-1. We're getting closer to the 32s. I think Richie has the tow as well. 33 at the moment for Blasi in the Audi. 33 as well for Richie, but he's close. 33 for B Racing, 33 for Shelty Tess. Then on his outlap, Stu has the slipstream. Now this is also far from over between Stu and Tess. Dashi still running on the mediums, and Evok at gap to Stu now 4 or 5 seconds, I reckon. And we see the pack is hunting, and the fuel is getting lower and lower at the stage, and there is no sight of rain on the weather radar. It's again another lap for Jaeger. Blasi, P2, Richie has to look behind now. Here comes B Racing again with a massive run. 32.6 for B on lap 19. That's a lap and a half. And he's in striking distance. Shelty lost a little bit of the contact, but you never know what can happen here. And between Taz and Stu, Stu personal best 33.7. .0 for Taz, also like confirming his personal best on that first time lap after pit stop. So tires are working for Taz. Again, close to the personal best. Oh, Stu 1 second penalty. That is another killer. That track limit penalty. And Evok got past Dashi. So we have a Suzuki sandwich for the moment, but now Jaeger has to pit. The fuel is too low and no rain, so the hope was there to get a free pit stop. Didn't rain, so let's watch the battle for the lead. Blasi, Richie, B, 3 Shelty, a little bit of a gap, but not too much if they continue with the battle. And we have Taz versus Jaeger. Jaeger on the pit exit into turn number 1. There is Taz, just there, and gets the run. Tires up to temperatures for Jaeger, yes, not the maximum grip, coming straight out of the pits, but is there, can challenge Taz for position. And let's get back to the battle for the victory. 3 cars, the German manufacturers fighting for glory. Audi leading the way, Volkswagen P2 and P3 with Richie and B Racing. Whoa, what a run through that chicane. It's bunching up like crazy. Let's get the Racing's onboard perspective. Massive slipstream now down the main straight. We're giving Richie a bump. One position gained. And we see Shelty. He's liking that fighting. Definitely, he wants to join the party as well. Oh, it's roughly 6 minutes to go, so 5 laps with this. One, and it's as close as it ever was between the top 4 drivers. Can Blasi defend that P1, be racing with the run, uphill, more power, trying to find space. Blasi is defending it still, but now down the straight will be vulnerable. Audi is good with the aero, but lacks a little bit on top end compared to the Scirocco. He still has the inside line. Let's see Richie's perspective. And Blasi defending it for now. Opportunity for Richie and Shelty as well. Here we go. The 4 cars now in a battle for the win. It's anyone's game. Out of the arena section, don't get a penalty. Blasi defending it. We go to Richie once again. See it from a close distance. Oh, be racing dives a little bit into the hairpin, understeers. But it's still Blasi, still there. Again, a little bit of contact, door banging all around. That's touring car racing, peak racing in those touring cars. You can lean on each other a little bit in those races. That's the fun of it. And Shelty gives Richie a little bump into chicane, maybe carnage. I don't know. Richie up a position into P2. Be racing with a penalty, half a second. No! Was this maybe the crucial mistake? I think he will still be at the back of this fighting group when serving the penalty on this lap. But it's now really gloves off between the 4 drivers. Everyone wants to get that W under their belt, and Blasi with the best chances at the moment. Richie going wide. Opportunity for Birch extends it down the inside into the arena. Again, a position gained for B, but he will serve the penalty very, very soon. Richie has to stay close. The same goes for Shelty, of course. And Blasi has that little gap now. So under 3 minutes. Where's B now? Gets off the racing line, serves the penalty, will lose that position to Richie. Maybe to Shelty as well. Yeah, Shelty with the run around the outside. So Blasi with a little gap now. Richie P2, Shelty P3. B racing in P4. End of lap 24. We have 2 minutes and a bit on the clock, so 2 more laps to go when they cross the line. It's still, you can't say, probably Blasi with still the best chances. Ritchie 1 second penalty though. And Shelty versus B, turn number 1. This time Shelty has the inside for the arena section. To keep that position for now, that 1 second penalty will hurt Ritchie quite a bit. So he will drop down to P4, I reckon. Can Shelty keep B racing at bay? That is the question now on that penultimate lap. So Ritchie is close to Blasi. That 1 second though will be 1.5 to 2 seconds time loss, so he will be right behind B racing. The 2 TCR drivers go round, Shelty and B, and Ritchie down to P4 now. And we are starting the final lap of round number 2 of the Touring Cars Cup. Blasi has a nice little gap now, no immediate pressure. Across the line, final lap, and Shelty goes defensive. Moves back onto the racing line, tries to break that toe. Will be racing send it? No. Maybe hoping for a better exit out of turn number 1. Looking down the inside, no. Shelty placing his car in the middle of the road, nowhere to go for the Dutch driver. Is there an opportunity? Taz finished the race, Stu finished the race, Evoque will finish, and Bashi as well, who will stay with that battle for the podium positions. Again, Shelty very defensive, as a compromised exit maybe out of the hairpin, but covers the apexes. That is good news for Blasi, who has a nice little gap now. They go side by side, and a cutback attempt. Onto the gravel a little bit, it's still not over. Shelty could get around the slipstream into that final chicane. Ritchie with a penalty, he's out of that fight. B Racing defending it. And looks like a clean run through that chicane. So it will be Blasi who scores the second victory in the second race. B Racing with another P2, Shelty P3, and Ritchie P4. And one car still running, that's Jaeger in his Suzuki Swift. Made the final lap, but couldn't get anywhere close to the pace. The front runners. Alright, so that's it for the race. I'll just bring up the race results then for you. So grabbed from the lobby screen, it is Blasi with the victory in the Audi TT. B Racing P2 and the fastest lap of the race. The only driver to hit a 32 race pace. Shelty P3 and Ritchie P4. Then Jaeger P5. Everyone else couldn't get that final lap. Nevertheless, great battles all around. Taz in P6. Stu with a P7 and Evoque in P8. And then bring up the second page. Dashi in P9 and Eric with that unfortunate disconnect in P10. Alright. So, that's round number 2. We'll be back next week with round 3, and it will be a trip to Italy, Lago Maggiore. The full course will be the track for the drivers. No rain, I can tell you that. So, hope to see you there next week for the real life. And until then, have a good time. Take care. Love you all. Yippee-ki-yay. Bye. Bye.